Hey guys, back with another video, and today we got another episode of ACE News. And I say another episode, but this is the first episode on the brand new channel. Of course, we're going to be saying that for a lot of different videos, this year. But, yeah, we have a lot to get into today because obviously it's been a couple weeks since the last episode, but we are continuing the legacy of AC News. This is episode 175, and yeah, we're just gonna keep it that way. But there is, like I said, so much news to get into. We're not even gonna talk about wrestling today because there's been so much NFL news since the last time I did one of these videos. It's probably gonna be one of your hour long AC. You usually get it every off season where it's an hour long AC News of just pure yapping about all the football news. I'm going to try not to make this an hour. I'm going to try to keep this pretty short and sweet. But we still have so much to go over. Like 100 plus pieces of news, I believe, which is insane. Let's start it with the Bills trading for DJ Moore, wide receiver from the Chicago Bears. Josh Allen looking like he's finally going to get his guy at receiver. It's been a few years ever since they lost Diggs, but they get DJ Moore here. Love to see it. Like I said, we're not going to yap about these for a while. We're just going to kind of ramble every single one of them off. You got the Rams re-signing Tyler Higbee to a 2-year, $5 million deal. You got the Texans extending Danielle Hunter to a $40.1 million deal with a $30.7 million signing bonus. Big contract for Danielle Hunter, who's getting up there in age. So we'll see how it pans out. You have the Bears first releasing Tremaine Edmonds. I can't speak right now. The Rams extend Cam Curl, their safety, to a 3-year, $36 million deal with $39 million max. The Rams, they've really tried to bolster that secondary. You'll see it later in this video. The Dolphins first released Alec Ingold, their longtime fullback. The Patriots re-signed Tommy DeVito. Hey, Tommy DeVito. He's still around. To a 2-year, $5.4 million deal. The Texans released Joe Mixon. And as I'm recording this, Joe Mixon is still not on a team. I don't know what teams are doing. They're sleeping out there, I feel like. That's crazy. The Texans extend Dalton Schultz to a 1-year, $12.6 million deal. Very good, very good. The Bears trade for Garrett Bradbury. I almost said Garrett Bradbury. What am I talking about? But this makes sense. Drew Dahlman did retire, so they needed to get another O-lineman back there. You have the Eagles extending Jordan Davis to a 3-year, $78 million deal with $65 million guaranteed. Big old contract for Jordan Davis, who honestly deserves it outside of his, I was going to say spit incident, but that was Jalen Carter, I believe. You got my Packers trading for Zaire Franklin from the Indianapolis Colts. Oh, I'm excited about this one. Zaire Franklin, not the superstar caliber player, but God, I feel like he's so underrated and has really made an impact on that Colts team the last couple of years, and I'm so glad we're getting him to pair alongside with Micah, and should be very good. And in that same trade, the Colts get defensive tackle Colby Wooden, now former Green Bay Packer. This was a player-for-player trade, and I love Colby Wooden. He's made some solid plays out there, especially for, I believe he is the one who got a few field goal blocks. But, Zaire Franklin, Colby Wooden, I feel like we definitely get an upgrade there to rush the quarterback. So, love to see it. Chargers re-signed Khalil Mack to a 1-year deal. This feels like a kind of last hurrah for Khalil Mack at this point, He was drafted in 2014, which is it's not that long ago, but it is that long ago now. And a 1-year deal, when it happens for an older-ish player, when you see that 1-year deal, things might be coming to an end. You had the Rams extending Trent McDuffie to a 4-year, $124 million deal worth $31 million per year. This is a massive contract for Trent McDuffie. I believe this makes him the highest paid corner in the entire NFL, which is kind of insane. I don't think it's, outrageous. They did trade for him to make this deal happen in the first place, and they're really locking him down. The Chargers signed Alec Ingold, who we just talked about, to a 2-year, $7.5 million deal. Raiders trade for Teron Johnson, cornerback for the Bills. This is huge to the Raiders. I mean, you'll see later in this video, they made so many moves on the defensive side of the ball, and this is just the first of many. The Dolphins release Tua Tagovailoa. Folks, I never thought they'd do it, but they did it. Dolphins also trade, the Jets trade for Minkah Fitzpatrick for a 2026 7th-round pick. And with that, Minkah also signs a 3-year, $40 million deal. Minkah now leaving the Dolphins and going to the Jets, which another guy who's pretty young. Like, he's actually pretty young. I believe he was drafted in 2018, 2019, and now it feels like he's already just kind of past his prime. That's how short the span of a big-time NFL career can be. The Cowboys trade for Rashawn Gary for a 2027 4th-round pick. Now, I know this needed to happen. Packers fans have been saying it forever now. We need to get rid of Gary. He's not improving. And, trading for Zaire Franklin, you figured something like this was going to happen. So the Cowboys get Rashawn Gary, but we have Micah, so screw off. The Colts extend Alec Pierce to a 4-year, $114 million deal. Holy shit. Now, I know Alec Pierce is, very good. He's very solid, especially as a deep threat. I mean, he had himself a year. But 114 mil? I don't know about this one, Jarvis. Okay, we're going to move on. Patriots signed Draymond Jones to a 3-year, $39.5 million deal. Bolstering the defense are the Patriots, which is clearly what they need to do. We knew how good their defense was, but clearly it wasn't good enough because we saw the Super Bowl. The Raiders re-signed Eric Stokes to a 3-year, $30 million deal with $20 million guaranteed. This must mean that Eric Stokes had a good year after leaving the Packers. I don't know if he had a good year. I don't pay attention to the Raiders, especially this past year. The Chiefs signed Kenneth Walker to a 3-year, $45 million deal with $28.7 million guaranteed. Oh my God. Is this the first time? Now, it probably isn't, but is this the first time that a Super Bowl MVP has left his team to go to a new team? Maybe. And even if not, this is insane. Especially going to the Chiefs. People will say all they want. Oh, the Chiefs, they're done for. Their dynasty is over. I need to see a good 2 to 3 year span where they don't make the playoffs to really be convinced that their dynasty is over. But folks, they just got Kenneth Walker. They got a running back, a big time running back who, to be fair, can't stay healthy, but had himself a game in the biggest game of them all. And they got a running back, which is what they needed. A running back is has been the one issue on that Chiefs offense. And who knows what they're about to cook up. It's going to look like 2018 Chiefs all over again with Kareem Hunt. It's... Why? Why, God? Buccaneers, they re-signed their tight end, Cade Otton. This is well-deserved. Honestly, one of the most underrated tight ends in the league. The Rams signed Jalen Watson, Washington State legend, to a 3-year, $51 million deal with $34 million guaranteed. I love this. The Rams, they just took every Chiefs cornerback. Huh. That's funny. The Steelers, they trade for Michael Pittman Jr. He's going back to Pittsburgh. I know people are like, what do you mean? He's, I'm pretty sure Michael Pittman Jr. is from what's it called? I'm pretty sure he's from Pittsburgh. Hold on, chat. I gotta look this up because it's gonna piss me off if I don't know. Oh no, he's from Bakersfield, California. That's interesting then. Okay, for some reason I thought they were in Pittsburgh. I think that's because I saw like a video of, I don't know. He's a Steeler now. Woo! Remember, I was a big-time MPJ fan a couple years ago, and I still am. I like the guy. I just haven't kept up with him as much, but he's still one of my favorite players in the league that's not a Packer. The Panthers signed Jalen Phillips to a 4-year, $120 million deal. Good Lord, I did not know he got that much. To be fair, edge rushers, I mean, the capital for it nowadays is just insane. And Jalen Phillips, when healthy, can look pretty damn good. The Dolphins signed Malik Willis to a 3-year, $67.5 million deal, worth $45 million guaranteed. I only sighed about this because I was hoping some fate of the universe was that Malik Willis was just going to be okay with being Jordan Love's backup for the next 20 years. Unfortunately, that's not the case. But hey, I'm proud. I'm glad he went somewhere, and hopefully he can look great, because people are like, oh my god, he only had 3 good games. He only had 3 or 4 good games. May I remind you, when Love was hurt, not this past year, but the last year, Malik played then too, and he went undefeated. Malik, I don't think, outside of the Ravens game, he lost. I mean, no, that's not true. He definitely lost a couple this past year, but damn, he looked good he's looked good in every single game as a Packer. In like a 6-game span, which is still maybe a little crazy to give him a lot of money because of that, but, you know, hey, if they can give him an offense, here's the thing, if he looks bad, I want people to finally show the respect to the Green Bay Packers and how we run our offenses, that we just have god-tier quarterbacks only when they're with us, okay? It's our system. It's our goddamn system. We're just the best. I'm coping. The Giants signed Isaiah Likely to a 3-year, $40 million deal. Very good. Very good. Giants need a tight end. Just bolstering up that offense for Jackson Dart and the boys. Steelers, they now sign Michael Pittman Jr. To a 3-year, $59 million deal. That is insane that this guy got $59 million and Alec Pierce got $114 million. I'm just putting that together. Pierce is good, don't get me wrong, but like, bro, wait, who signed Alec Pierce again? Why am I forgetting? Oh no, the Colts. Yeah, Colts. You're usually supposed to, I don't know. Jets, they signed Mario Davis to a 2-year, $22 million deal. I believe this is him going back to New York, because I believe he was a Jet before, but he's heading back there. And it's a $2 million deal, or a 2-year deal. So maybe that this could be Demario Davis's last hurrah. You know, he's also pretty much up there in age. The Titans signed Mitchell Trubisky to a 2-year deal. Don't even know why I have this on here. Probably because the NFL posted it. Whatever the NFL posts, it's on this video. So why did they need to post this though? No one cares. It's Mitchell Trubisky. He's gonna clean Cam Ward's shoes for him. You know, very good. The Bucks signed Kenneth Gainwell to a 2-year, $14 million deal. I love this for them. May I remind you, they still have freaking Bucky Irving, and with Mitchell Trubisky here, I think it's good. Or not Mitchell Trubisky. What am I talking about? Kenneth Gainwell. Gainwell looked good this past year. I would know. I had him in fantasy. Thank you very much. The Bucks, they also signed Alex Anzalone to a 2-year, $17 million Sure. Solid. Decent. I don't really have much to say about a lot of these. It's like they're all pretty much good moves for pretty much every team. So you'll have to see it. There's only a couple outrageous ones, but I'll say them when I say them, you know. Bears, they signed Kobe Durant. They don't even have a extension or a year attached or money attachment to it. They signed the safety from the Seahawks. Kobe. Did I say Kobe Durant, by the way? It's been a long day. They signed Kobe Bryant. No, not the Black Mamba, not the basketball player, not the GOAT, not the legend. Rest in peace. But the Seahawks safety. Got it. Commanders, they signed Amik Robinson to a 2-year, $16 million deal with $9.3 million guaranteed. Very good. Commanders, they have a lot of work to do, especially on the defensive side of the ball. The Lions, they signed Cade Mays. I believe it was Frank Ragnow who retired recently. Was it Frank Ragnow? I believe so. So, bolster up the O-line. Very good. Cade Mays looked good this year for the Panthers. The Jets, they signed Joseph Asai to a 3-year, $36 million deal. Remember Joseph Asai? He was the guy who screwed the Bengals a couple years from making it to another Super Bowl. I remember that. That wasn't his fault. Let's be real here. That wasn't his fault. The refs, they just... Mahomes, gawk, you know? The Raiders signed Tyler Linderbaum to a 3-year, $81 million deal with $60 million guaranteed. Bro, the Raiders, we're not done. We're not even close to done with the Raiders and what they have to say. They just, if they don't win at least 5 games next year, remove the team entirely, okay? Did they even win 5 games this year? I don't think so. They couldn't have. They had to have won at least like 2 or 3, but God, they were bad. They were really bad. But if they don't win 6 games next year even, I'd go as far as saying a 7. 6 to 7 games. Not even making the joke, just 6 to 7 games. If they don't do it, literally remove the team and do an expansion draft and have a new team in London. You got the Cardinals signing Tyler Algier to a 2-year, $12.25 million deal. Cardinals been needed a running back, and Algier has looked good in Atlanta. For some reason, sometimes better than, what's his name? Bijan Robinson. But that's just because Arthur Smith a couple of years ago. Yeah, he's just stupid. Saints signed Travis Etienne, or should I say Travis Achan. Recently found out about that news. Maybe, I think he talked about it when he got drafted, but I didn't see it. Apparently, Travis Etienne's actual name is Travis Achan. It's pronounced Achan, like Devon Achan. So, our whole life is a lie. Yeah. The Titans signed wide receiver Rondale Robinson, a guy who I think has been underutilized in New York, so this is good for him. The Saints signed David Edwards to a $15 million deal. Yeah, they just need to... Saints, another team where they just need to work on everything. The Saints signed the Raiders signed Jalen Naylor, wide receiver. Raiders, just move after move after move after move. We're not even close to done, chat. Not even close to done. 49ers, speaking of not being close to done, oh my God, signed Mike Evans to a 3-year deal. Holy God, I didn't think it happened. After Mike Evans stayed last year, I thought, yeah, he's just never gonna go to another team. But you know why he left? Because he didn't get 1,000 yards. That's literally what his whole entire career goal was. If I don't get 1,000 yards, I leave the Bucs. And for the first time in his career, he didn't get 1,000 yards. I think. Did he get 1,000 yards his rookie year? Don't remember. He probably didn't have that thought his rookie year. It was a couple year later scheme. I think I'm starting to lose my mind, folks. The Steelers signed Jamel Dean to a 3-year, $36.75 million deal. Yes. Very good. Safety. Steelers. Cooking. The Bears signed Devin Bush to a 3-year, $30 million deal. Feels like this is the only move the Bears have really made, actually. They got rid of a lot of damn people this offseason, so that makes me laugh. I shouldn't talk as a Packers fan. We still have a lot to go over. Falcons signed Jahan Dotson, wide receiver, of course, from the Eagles. And, yeah, just building up the weapons. Who's going to be their quarterback? I don't know. We'll get in that topic later. The Browns signed Zion Johnson to a 3-year, $49.5 million deal. The Browns, they're really, we'll get into it later. Once again, they're bolstering up that offensive line. Who's their quarterback, by the way? Oh, Shador. Yeah, you guys are still cooked. The Titans signed John Franklin Myers to a 3-year, $63 million deal with $42 million guaranteed. Franklin Myers been one of those key pieces for that Broncos defense, so very good. The Giants signed Tremaine Edmonds to a 3-year, $36 million deal with $23.7 million guaranteed. We talked about him earlier. Was on the Bears, now it's on the Giants. Shit to shit. That's what that is. I just love rage-baiting Bears fans. The Chargers signed Charlie Kolar to a 3-year, $24.3 million deal with $17 million guaranteed. You know, Charlie Kolar, he looked good this year, but, like, he was the Ravens' tight end 3. And he's getting $24 million. I know $24 million is not a lot. It's like chump change nowadays, but okay. The Titans signed Cordell Flott to a 3-year, $45 million deal with $32 million guaranteed. I think this is a great move for the Titans. Cordell Flott has literally gone under the radar, I believe, and that's probably just because he's a Giant. Cool. The Bengals signed Brian Cook to a 3-year, $40.25 million deal. Jesus, I can't speak right now. This is a great move for the Bengals. Once another team that just needs to work on their defense. Work on their defense. I feel like that's the key for a lot of these teams. The Broncos re-sign J.K. Dobbins. Let's hope he can stay healthy, because when he is, he's looked good. The Titans signed Alontae Taylor to a 3-year, $60 million deal with $42 million guaranteed. Very solid cornerback from the Saints. And Titans, like the Raiders, we're another team this offseason that we're just making move after move after move after move after move after move after move. Very good. The Commanders re-signed Marcus Mariota to a 1-year, $7 million deal. Okay, cool. Little backup QB, Marcus Mariota. What a guy. The Bengals signed Boye Mafe to a 3-year, $60 million deal. Bengals, like we said earlier, bolstering that offensive, or that defense. I was going to say offensive line. They should probably do that too, but, you know, they'll never do that. They want Burrow to be dead. The Commanders signed Odafe Owe to a 4-year, $100 million deal with $68 million guaranteed. Yeah, this is a great move for the Commanders, and I think this money is deserved. The Falcons signed Tua Tagovailoa to a 1-year deal. They love their lefty quarterbacks that can't throw the football. They now have Tua and Michael Penix. I wonder who's going to win that job. Woo! I hope it's Penix just for the culture, but, like, no, for the culture, I hope it's Tua. For the Falcons' winning percentage-wise, I hope it's Penix. But I'd love for it to be Tua and him just go out there and be Tua and throw picks, even with guys like Kyle Pitts and Drake London. Very good. The Cardinals signed Gardner Minshew, Washington State legend, to a 1-year, $5.75 million deal, up to $8.25 million. Cardinals, this is their only quarterback, by the way. We'll get into things later, but yeah, this is the only quarterback they have right now. Is Gardner Minshew going to carry the Cardinals to the Super Bowl? Yeah! Him and MHJ. Dominant. I'm being serious, by the way. The Commanders re-signed Laramie Tunsil to a 2-year, $60.2 million deal. God, I feel like Laramie Tunsil is the youngest young guy in the league. I feel like he's been in the league for about 20 years. He's still rocking though. The Raiders signed Kwity Paye to a $16 million per year deal. Just another defensive signing for this Raiders team. The Broncos, on the other hand, released Dre Greenlaw. This is honestly a stupid move by the Broncos, and I think they'll pay for it. We'll talk about who he signed with later. The Raiders signed Nakobe Dean to a 3-year, $36 million deal with $20 million guaranteed. Very good. Get this, we're not done. The Raiders signed Quay Walker. This one really hurt. This one really hurt because, yes, he's a D1 crash out. And yes, he's a D1 crash out. But, man, he was so good for the Packers. He was good. He was good. Especially this past, year or two, he looked unstoppable when he was healthy. The disappointment is immeasurable, and my day is ruined. The Seahawks re-signed Rashid Shaheed, return specialist himself, looking like Devin Hester 2.0. The Panthers signed... Actually, no. Looking like Percy Harvin. I'm putting that curse on him. You already know. The Panthers signed Kenny Pickett to a 1-year, $7.5 million deal. Just a little backup quarterback signing here. The Texans signed Reed Blankenship to a 3-year, $24.75 million deal. Great move by the Texans here. Reed Blankenship has honestly been one of the most consistent safeties the past couple of years. The Cardinals signed Kendrick Bourne to a 2-year, $12 million deal. I forgot this guy was even in the league. That pretty much says it all. The Panthers signed Devin Lloyd to a 3-year, $45 million deal with $25 million guaranteed. Sure. Cool. Panthers also made some great moves. Especially Kenny Pickett, of course, can't forget. Best move they made. Best move they've made in history. He's going to win the job against Bryce Young. I'm joking. I'm seriously joking this time. The Steelers signed Rico Dowdle to a 2-year, $12.25 million deal. Oh my God, what a move. We talked about them losing Kenneth Gainwell earlier. Well, I think they just doubled down here with Rico Dowdle, who had an absolute resurgence for the Panthers in the second half of the year when Chuba Hubbard went down. This guy looked like goddamn Emmitt Smith. He couldn't be stopped. And now the Steelers get him, so I'm scared. Not scared. They're not in our division, but, I just kind of hate the Steelers, as a personal thing, The Chiefs signed Alohi Gilman to a 3-year, $24.75 million deal with $15 million guaranteed. Finally, Chiefs going out and doing something. They also re-signed Tyquan Thornton to a 2-year, $11 million deal up to $14 million. God, they really just got the bottom of the barrel receivers, don't they? The Patriots signed Elijah Vera Tucker. Very solid move here. Very good O-lineman, which is what they need to do. Because, oh my God, the Super Bowl. Just go back and watch the highlights. The Giants signed Greg Newsome, quarterback for, I believe he was last on the Jaguars. Cool. The Bills signed re-signed Dawson Knox, I should say, to a 3-year deal. He's kind of just become their tight end too because of what's his face? Dalton Kincaid, who has just looked so much better. But, the Browns re-signed Quincy Williams to a 2-year, $13 million deal with $9 million guaranteed. This is a great move. Quincy Williams, honestly one of the more underrated edge rushers in the league. The Lions signed Isaiah Pacheco. yeah, he's just up and out of Kansas City. Obviously they got Kenneth Walker, so who needs Isaiah Pacheco, who has just not been able to stay healthy, but hey, the Lions get him, and they had lost David Montgomery, so I think they're evening it out a little bit. I'm definitely not comparing Isaiah Pacheco to David Montgomery, but he once looked like that. A couple of seasons ago, he looked like he literally could not be stopped. The Texans extend Kyrie Fairbairn to a 2-year, $13 million deal, making Fairbairn the highest paid kicker in the entire NFL. Damn. Just wait until Cam Little has to be extended. He'll be given $20 million. Screw that. He'll be given $50 million. No, Cam Little, give him $100. Give him $1 billion. No, that's a joke. Yeah, good for Kyrie Fairbairn. I mean, he looked great this year, so it's worth it. The Texans signed Braden Smith to a 2-year, $25 million deal with $13.5 million guaranteed. So Braden Smith staying in the AFC South here. The Jets trade for Geno Smith and a 2026 7th-round pick for a 2026 6th-round pick. So they got Geno in a 7th and then for a 6th. Yeah. Cool. Yeah, the Jets, they once again have Geno Smith. He was released, by the way, initially by the Raiders. And he realized, oh, nobody wants me because I'm fucking garbage. I probably shouldn't have thrown the F-bomb in there. We're 30 minutes into this video. I can do what I want. Yeah. Cool. Geno. Whatever. Oh, my God. He's going to start for them, isn't he? Because they don't have Justin Fields anymore. Oh, my God. He's going to start. That is insane. Or am I thinking... Do they have a guy and I just don't remember? I don't remember. Patriots sign Romeo Doubs to a 4-year, $70 million deal. No! I can no longer say on Sundays, Romeo. Where are thou, Romeo? He's not in the end zone. He's in New England. That's so depressing. Romeo. Where are thou, Romeo? Call me Juliet, because I had so much love for this man. That's a bar right there. Yeah. Romeo Doubs, cool. Good for him. But man, he was Jordan Love's go-to. He could drop 3 passes on a slant, two back-to-back passes on a slant. But if it's a third and 2, Jordan Love will drop a deep bomb to him, and he'll catch it in the end zone. That was the Romeo Doubs special. Jets signed Nahshon Wright to a 1-year, $5.5 million deal. Another Bear going to another team. That's funny. The Browns signed Elgton Jenkins. The hits just keep on coming, folks. Elgton Jenkins to a 2-year, $24 million deal with $20 million guaranteed. Now with both him and Rashawn Gary gone out of Green Bay, there is no longer a single starter from the 2020 Packers team remaining. The only player left is Jordan Love himself. That is insane. Wow. Just nuts. 2020, yes, it was a long time ago at this point, but man, that was my favorite season possibly as a Packers fan ever. The Browns, they signed Elgton Jenkins to a 2-year, $24 million deal with, I already said that. What am I doing? The Saints signed Caden Ellis to a 3-year, $33 million deal with $23 million guaranteed. This is a great move here. Caden Ellis has been a solid linebacker for the Falcons, and he's going to stay in division here with the Saints. The Eagles signed Reek Woolen to a 1-year deal. Reek Woolen has kind of just slowly declined ever since that big rookie pop-off year, but if there's anyone that can revive his career, it's this Eagles defense. They know how to do it well. The Lions signed Teddy Bridgewater, so he came out of retirement. He had come out of retirement this past year because he was on the Bucks. Yeah, because, he got suspended as a high school coach because he cared about his players. That's a fact. Quote it. The Commanders signed Leo Chanel to a 3-year, $24.75 million deal. Very good. The Steelers re-signed Cam Hayward to a 2-year, $32.25 million deal with $16.25 million guaranteed. Wow, Cam Hayward. He's still sticking around. He's getting a fat paycheck. Another player where it's like, I feel like this could be his last contract. Who knows, though? Players like to stick around. The Giants signed Patrick Ricard, fullback, longtime fullback for the Ravens. It's going to be weird not seeing him as a Raven. The Cowboys signed Sam Howell, quarterback. What happened to that guy? Oh my God, he was once highly praised, even by myself. I highly praise that man coming out of North Carolina, but yeah, things happen. He did not become Drake May, that's for sure. Ravens signed Trey Hendrickson to a 4-year, $112 million deal. So much drama has unfolded since the last AC News. And the Ravens at first signed Maxx Crosby. They even posted it. They posted that they signed Maxx Crosby. And then Maxx Crosby came out and was like, bro, I didn't sign anywhere. You know why? Because he failed his physical. So Ravens, technically this is a downgrade, but hey, it's still Trey Hendrickson. He's still a very solid player, and Joe Burrow is in the corner crying. Not only because he lost his teammate, but he has to deal with TJ Watt, now his former teammate, and Trey Hendrickson, and Myles Garrett. He's gonna die, but to be fair, he probably dressed up as a doctor to fail Maxx Crosby in his physical. You already know. The Colts extend Daniel Jones to a 2-year, $88 million deal with $100 million in incentives. Last time we talked about Danny Dimes, he was getting a transition tag. Could we have just kept that? Because you know what happens when Daniel Jones gets paid. I've seen this story before. The Patriots signed Kevin Byard to a 1-year, $9 million deal, continuing to bolster that defense. The Commanders signed Chigo Okonkwo to a 3-year deal. Very solid tight end who has just been stuck in Titans poverty. The Bills signed Bradley Chubb to a 3-year, $43.5 million deal with $29 million guaranteed. Damn. The Bills, or I already said the Bills. My Green Bay Packers, we're not just lying down and dying. We're going to sign Javon Hargrave to a 2-year, $23 million deal. So we lose Colby Wooden, and we get Javon Hargrave. Yes, he's up there in age, but he can still go with some of the best of them. If you watch his tape from this past year with the Vikings, and then, of course, a couple years ago, I believe, with the Eagles, he's just looked so good. So I'm excited about this. I really am. I'm trying to be excited. The Giants re-signed Evan Neal. Hopefully that guy just turns it around. I think he did turn around this past year, but a couple years ago, man, he was not good. But I think he'll be better. 49ers trade for Osa Odigizua. I totally butchered that name. For a 2026 third-round pick. This guy looked great with Cowboys this year, so solid trade. Titans, they trade for Solomon Thomas for a 7th-round pick swap. So the Cowboys just lost their whole defensive line. Hey, you got Rashawn Gary, though. Commanders, they signed Charles Omenihu to a 1-year, $7 million deal. Solid move here. Omenihu. Cool. The Bengals signed Jonathan Allen to a 2-year, $28 million deal. This is actually really good. Jonathan Allen has been a key piece of that Vikings team, and now he's gonna go to the Bengals, who just lost Trey Hendrickson. It's definitely not Trey Hendrickson, but it's still decent. It's still decent. The Commanders signed Rachaad White, running back. Now we know why the Bucs picked up Kenneth Gainwell. They were losing Rachaad White, so this makes sense. The 49ers bring back Dre Greenlaw. They signed him to a 1-year, $7.5 million deal. This is very good. Last time I believe we really saw this man in full action with 49ers, he literally injured himself by walking onto the field. Hopefully he turns it around. The Seahawks signed Emmanuel Wilson to a 1-year, $2.1 million deal. Do the Packers just got to lose everyone? Chat. Goody. Brian Gutekunst. Are we sleeping? He's out there like the one kid from the Cam Wilder video. I was sleepy. This guy... Oh, we got Javon Hargrave. We got Zaire Franklin. Woo! We also got Benjamin St. Juste, by the way. I didn't mention that earlier because the NFL didn't post it, and I didn't really feel like throwing it in here somewhere. But we did get Benjamin St. Juste, quarterback from the Chargers. I'm really happy about that. And we got rid of Nate Hobbs. So, honestly, life is good. You have Emmanuel Wilson, who was just a backup running back. Yes, he got him for backup running back money. But, cool. The Vikings signed Kyler Murray to a 1-year deal. Oh, my God. For a while, this man went unsigned, and it was like, bro, what is everybody doing? But the Vikings go ahead and pick him up. And with something they made, a move they made later on, this really shows that they don't give a shit about J.J. McCarthy. Woo! That's not a good thing. I hate the Vikings. I want them to start J.J. McCarthy. But I hope J.J. wins the job. I hope he does. And yes, Kyler hasn't been great against the Packers, but I'd love to just face JJ twice a year still. That'd be great. The Bills signed C.J. Gardner-Johnson to a 1-year, $6 million deal. This guy's getting passed around like candy at this point. The Steelers signed Jaquan Brisker to a 1-year, $5.5 million deal. Did I say 5.5 for C.J.? I think I might have. It was $6 million for C.J. It's Jaquan Brisker, 5.5. To both Bears, by the way. So, hey, the Packers are losing people, but so are the Bears. So, all is right in the world. The Colts signed Jonathan Owens, another Bear who's a former Packer, to a 1-year deal. You know, everyone's favorite, Simone Biles' his husband. That's all he's relevant for. That's the only reason why the NFL will post this. The Panthers signed Rasheed Walker to a 1-year deal. Oh my God, it's like Groundhog's Day. The Packers are losing everyone. We're gonna be fine, okay? We're gonna still make the playoffs. We do every year. We're good. The Giants signed Darnell Mooney to a 1-year, $10 million deal. Great move here. Just get in Jackson Dart, another weapon. The Eagles re-signed Dallas Goedert to a 1-year deal. I said Dallas. That's not even a name. I'm just making stuff up at this point. The Chiefs trade for Justin Fields. It's pretty clear that Mahomes is going to be out for a couple weeks, at least at the start of next year. You know, he's dealt with that injury. And even if he isn't, I think they should just start Justin Fields for a couple weeks. Fields is good. You know, he's solid. He's looked decent. And if he's in the Chiefs system, he's just been on bad teams, okay? When he was on the Steelers, he looked good. And then they benched him for Russell Wilson. So, tell me how that makes sense. But once Mahomes is back, Andy Reid's going to get crazy. He's going to have freaking crazy packages with Mahomes, Fields, and Kenneth Walker. It's going to be devious. The 49ers signed Christian Kirk. Christian Kirk. Like how that's all he's known for this past year. That's pretty sad. The Broncos trade for Jalen Waddle and a 2026 4th-round pick for a 2026 first, third, and 4th-round pick. That is a massive trade. And you know what else is massive? Nope. All right. Eagles signed Marquise Brown, Hollywood, to a 1-year, $6.5 million deal. Another receiver the Eagles are picking up here. The Texans signed Wyatt Teller to a 2-year deal. Former Brown now. The Colts signed Cam Taylor-Britt. And then you got the Panthers signing A.J. Dillon, Packers legend, the quad god himself, who really didn't do anything in Philadelphia. And when I mean anything, he quite literally, he did nothing. But hopefully it changes with the Panthers. It should, hopefully, because they lost Rico Dowdle. You have the Eagles trading for Andy Dalton in a 2027 7th round, or for a 2027 7th round pick. Just traded for a backup quarterback. Cool. The Vikings re-signed Carson Wentz to a 1-year deal. This what makes it confirmed that the Vikings don't give a damn about J.J. McCarthy. And I love it. They gave him 1 year to just try, and he sucked. And they even tried to, and they started Max Prosper over him at times. Like, you suck. They call it 9. It's a personality that comes out. Okay, 9. Sit down, 9. 9. Let me not turn German here. The Falcons trade for Sidney Brown for a pick swap. A safety here, I believe. Another guy who just hasn't been able to stay healthy, but sure. The Seahawks extend Jackson Smith-Njigba to a 4-year, $168.6 million deal worth $120 million guaranteed, making him the highest paid wide receiver in the NFL. Oh my God, that's a lot of money. But hey, JSN, it's deserved. He looked great this year. Very good. The Seahawks also re-signed Jake Bobo to a 2-year, $5.5 million deal. Just making sure their receivers stay intact. They lost everything else. But hey, they got their receivers, so it's not time to cry or anything. The Chiefs re-signed Travis Kelce to a 3-year, $54.7 million deal. He announced earlier in the offseason that he would be returning for another season, and it looks like he's returning for 3 more seasons. Yes, you can retire before your contract ends, but I feel like Travis Kelce might ride this contract out and call it a day. Hopefully. We need that guy gone. He's washed. He's garbage. No one likes him. That's not true. Taylor Swift does. That's it. Levante David retires in 14 seasons. I don't know why I was hating on Travis Kelce, by the way. I like that guy, but he just gets on my nerves sometimes. Levante David, retires after 14 seasons. I just skipped right over that, by the way. Levante David has been an absolute legend. I think he should be first ballot. He had an incredible career, all with the Bucs, by the way. This man was loyal, thick, and thin, and got a Super Bowl out of it. So he had a pretty damn good career, if I do say so myself. You have the Falcons signing Brian Robinson Jr. to a 1-year, $2.5 million deal. This is going to make it a lot more confusing for the people who drafted Brian Robinson Jr. over mistakenly for Bijan Robinson during fantasy drafts this past year. And once they see that Falcons logo and B. Robinson, they're going to be cooked. Yeah, a bunch of idiots. The Bengals signed Joe Flacco to a 1-year deal, so just keeping him around as their backup QB. The Eagles signed Elijah Moore to a 1-year deal as well. Cool, another receiver. And the Saints, to close it out, signed Zach Wilson also to a 1-year deal. That is it. That is it. That is all the news. I've been recording for nearly an hour now, I want to say. At least close to. This was a long video, but hey, I had a lot to catch up on. We should get back into the regularly scheduled wrestling also content during AC News next week. We're on the road to WrestleMania. I've been saying that every video, I feel like. This is the first AC News on the new channel. Hopefully expect some WWE 2K soon. I just got 2K26, and I'm going to try to bust out a lot of content. And I also, of course, need to catch up on Championship History videos. A lot to do right now. But I hope you guys enjoyed this video today. Please comment, like, subscribe, and hit that notification bell so you know when I post a new video. Bye, guys.